Hello and welcome. This is our Linux series. In previous videos, we've downloaded and installed Ubuntu server LTS 24.04, and today we're going to install the desktop. This is a plan where we want to connect a client and a server using Ubuntu operating system. So today let's complete the Ubuntu desktop as a client. So I have already downloaded the image. So if we go to Ubuntu download, so if you Google it, Ubuntu desktop download, if you say Ubuntu desktop download 2204, and actually we're using later 24, so go to this link and you see 24.04.1 LTS. It's about 5 gig. Click on that, it will download, and then that takes a bit of a time depending on your internet speed. I've already downloaded the image or the ISO image. I have it. So what I'm going to do, I will create a new machine, a virtual machine, and install it on VMware Workstation. So if I say File, New Virtual Machine, we're going to use typical, and then I will point to where the image is. So here's the image. That's the one I downloaded, about 5 gig. And then if I open, it detects the image, and then it tells, sometimes it might not detect, but we know what image we have. And then we call the full name. Let's call it Ubuntu desktop. This is a demo, so we call Ubuntu desktop. Actually 01, that's the name I have, or just say Ubuntu desktop. Then username, it will be the same, and I will create a password. This is a lab password. If you're using something on the internet, please make sure you've got a strong password. And then the virtual machine name, this is the name we're going to call the machine, Ubuntu desktop, same like that style. So Ubuntu desktop -01, and then the location is not the default. I have a location that I dedicated in my C drive, and I will go to this folder, and I already created a file for that, Ubuntu desktop 01, match the name, and then next. This the default is a small machine, 20 gigs is enough, but we're going to use 150. It doesn't mean it will take that chunk from your hard disk of your laptop, but actually it will use as much files as you put or how you use it, but starting with the basic 20 or even less than that. So don't worry about that. It will dynamically increase from a small number all the way to until it reaches there. At the moment, it's not going to take that chunk straightforward. So next, and then if we want to customize the hardware, maybe they increase the memory. 4 gig should be enough for this machine. The processor is this small laptop, so I want to just create the number of cores per processor, and then I will leave the NAT, so that's connected to my network. Let's say next, and then finish. If you want to click and boot straight on, then you can select that power on this virtual machine after creation, or you can finish first and then see if you need to do any changes when it loads. Here you have nothing, but you can just say maybe the username, password, or maybe any information you want to add. If you want to send this package, upload it somewhere people can use it, then maybe the description would be very useful here. But now we're going to boot that machine, and let's say power it on, and then it starts and gives you the options to install. So what I'm going to see, and it's the option of installing, not trying, not troubleshooting, we're installing. So let's wait until the operating system loads. Okay, so now we select the settings. It's loaded, now it's ready, and then we select the settings like the language. So we're going to use English and say next. And the accessibility in Ubuntu, I will use all the defaults. I don't want to disable any of them. Then the language, the keyboard language, English UK. So we select that and then say next, and then connect to the network, use a wired connection. So I'm going to use the wired connection later. That's another video, but I will use another Wi-Fi, and the wired connection should be okay. Next, and then we're going to install these two options sometimes when you're installing, you might see older versions. It will tell you try or install, and then at the end when you come here, it gives you the two options. We're installing, so here we say next, and then interactive, so we can do whatever change we need to do. This automated installation, but the interactive is fine. All the other things, the apps that will be loaded, we use the defaults, and then if you want to customize, you want to add or remove things, then you use the other option. And here if you want to download software, the third party recommended, or the anything other things that are required for this device, automatically when you connect to the network, then we can select those. We can download and support additional media formats. That should be fine. Then we wait, and then when that completes, I will show you in another video how we can use the client server in a system. So multiple clients, multiple users, and then we will start learning Linux based on these two machines, or maybe additional machines we can add later. Then the installation says erase the disk and install Ubuntu. This is the disk that we allocated, the 150. It's actually a virtual disk, and it's not going to delete your disk on your real machine or physical machine. So don't worry about this. This is like cleaning any formats on the disk, preparing it for Ubuntu operating system. So we say that's fine, continue. And then we provide Ubuntu desktop. Ubuntu desktop, that's the name, or the user, we can call it later. And then your computer name, I just need the name. It adds these things, we don't want those. Ubuntu desktop, that should be alright. And password, it's going to be a basic lab password. So please make sure you have a strong password if you're using this machine from a cloud platform or any external facing network. And requirement password to login, that's fine. We don't have Active Directory, so we're using local username password. We'll talk about those later. And this is Europe London, should be fine. And then next, then these are all good. This is just summary of the disk is creating, the partition is creating, and then we start installing. That will take some time. I will pause the recording, and when that completes, I will show you again. Okay, that took about 7 minutes. It might take a little bit sooner if your processor is faster. So we are now at the last stage, and it says restart now. So this will reboot the machine. So if you click on the restart, then it will reboot. It might take a minute or less, and then we have Ubuntu desktop ready. We already had Ubuntu server, and then we start now integrating those, a client server, and then learn Linux, and that will be the start of our Linux series. So let's wait for this machine to boot fully, and we will conclude the recording after that. Okay, so the reboot completed. This is the user we created, Ubuntu desktop. If I click on it and log in, then we provide the password, and then if we click enter, that's now complete. So and it says Ubuntu, let's do it is the initial settings, setting up. So let's say Ubuntu Pro. No, we don't want that. So basic ones, free ones. No, we don't want to share any system data. And then it says what's a legal notice, no need that. And then these are the applications you will use. So finish. So if you click here, then it tells you all the applications that are available to you. And let's say if you click here, if you say open terminal, and I want to show you the IP that we have. The name is really long. I might make it a little bit shorter. So change the machine name and change the username, so we can have a better window. So if I say, and we will update everything from the command line, and then learn how we can use a desktop, Ubuntu Linux desktop, and connect it to services that are running on Ubuntu server. So that's all. Thank you again, and see you in the next video.